Chapter 2, Into the Wilds. Dragonsport is in turmoil. Alarm bells toll and the streets are a frenzy of screaming townsfolk. A throng of surprisingly organized torch-wielding goblins has overrun the gates, pressing swiftly into the city. You make for a nearby watchtower to get your bearings. However, Laswell was spending the city's taxes. It clearly wasn't spent on fortifications. As you climb higher, you see the poor defenses have left this city exposed. Dozens of goblins have breached the front gates already and have poured into the city proper. They are chasing townfolks through the streets and indiscriminately lighting buildings on fire. Hundreds more of the little fiends dot the horizon, readying for their turn to pillage. How on earth are there so many? Another few minutes and the city will most likely be lost. The situation looks bleak. Guard presence is surprisingly slim. Where did they all go? The only organized resistance you see is a group of valiant guards attempting to fortify the market square. If you could assist them, they could rally their comrades and help evacuate more of the city's people to safety. Market Square is likely the most secure location in Dragonsport. On the other hand, the bulk of the civilians have fled to the waterfront. With the guard presence so slim and the goblins pressing in close behind them, many townsfolk will be cut down at the piers unless someone can get there soon. The civilians aren't as skilled as the guards, but there are surely more of them. On the opposite end of the harbor, you see a sizable two-mast schooner readying to depart. Clearly the Baron's flagship. Although you cannot hear commands, you spot the Baron on the stern, pointing and barking out orders. The lookouts for the ship seem preoccupied with loading a small amount of cargo on board and have not noticed a contingent of goblins about to overwhelm the vessel. There is a good chance that the mighty naval vessel will be seized by the goblins. A sudden nearby cry catches your attention. On the top floor of an adjacent burning building, you see 3 children calling for help. The flames set by the ransacking goblins have trapped them, and the conflagration will soon consume the building. A few people are attempting to break down the door of the building, but seem to be struggling. There may be little chance to save everyone else, but perhaps at least you could save these 3. Assisting the city in any way will be taxing and dangerous. Baron Laswell is responsible for the well-being of these people, and your responsibilities are more personal. Most everyone else is fleeing the city. Why shouldn't you? Whatever your decision, Dragonport and its citizens will be forever changed today. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another round of Canje Plays. Today we will be playing through Chapter 2 of Klik's Madness from Hexplore, and I hope you've enjoyed Chapter 1, but we're going to definitely check this out and continue this wonderful story and see where it goes. A few things to rectify before we begin. So, once again, these are abilities, these are skills, and I did mess this up with Assault, which is an ability. So when we did our ability upgrade, we did that, and it should have been a skill upgrade. So we're going to put it towards Survival, and that'll be what we have, right? Another item that we had on here was around when we gained an upgrade, and I believe I was supposed to tick off one of these, which I missed, but we took care of that as well. So Cleave is up. We also we did our vital setup, everything else is set up properly, and this new stat will change now between 7 and 4, which will be 11. So we'll have 11 there, our shield is still 4 divided by 2, 2, and we're going to change up one other thing. When we did our unlock, we unlocked our mastery here, which it was the hive mentality, but after reading that hurts me more than it helps me, so I'm actually going to retcon that and say that we unlocked our shield ally ability instead of that specific ability. So this is fully unlocked. Sure, that's kind of what I'm going with for right now. Also, that will mean that we have to deal with this, so this also will be 2 to shield our ally. So we now have shield ally if we need it. We've upgraded these stats accordingly. Everything is as it should be. And hopefully I will not keep screwing up and you can enjoy this playthrough. We have a decision to make. If you help the guards fortify the market square, we'll read 2255. If you save the civilians escaping via the waterfront, read 2267. If you protect Baron Laswell's flagship, read 2148. If you save the nearby children, read 2216. And if you escape the city immediately, read 2262. Well, these are all hard decisions to make, but a decision needs to be made. So I am actually going to go to save the civilians escaping via the waterfront. A hero's choice is never easy, but you know that the most prudent course of action is to rescue the townsfolk and provide them with enough time to evacuate into whatever seaworthy vessel they can find. You can cut a path through the goblins heading closer to the pier. or you cut a path through the goblins heading closer to the pier, supporting the exhausted townsfolk gathering around you. Each hero suffers 4 energy damage. Energy drain. Consider this damage a single target attack. Any health damage dealt is non-lethal. Each hero may also use a single mastery or racial ability if that ability heals or prevents damage. Well, we do have it says that we can use one of a single mastery. Our Reflected Assault is a mastery. It's our second mastery, and it reflects damage you or an ally suffers this round. The damage is defended by Reflected Assault rank plus Tower Shield, and the original amount is reflected back against the attacker. So we're going to Reflect Assault to do that, which will cost us 2 energy to do this. So we'll go down to 12. We'll block for 11, which means we won't take the damage. And those goblins, whoever attacked us, is going to take a punch to the face. We also have the Assist type, because we are an Assist class. As you can see here, we are an Assist class, which is fantastic. Each hero earns this moment, Restore 2. Place these cards aside from the timer deck when the timer deck is built. So we're just going to grab 2. We'll shuffle these, we'll shuffle the deck, and then those are set. Because I haven't shuffled these, it just said place them to the side until you need them. But we're just putting 2 as a match right now. So we restore 2 onto nothing, because we have nothing set up here. Your sudden appearance seems to rejuvenate the protectors, encouraging more people to fight for their city. You watch as one by one, boatloads of Dragonsport refugees safely break away from the piers. Not surprisingly, the Baron's schooner was one of the first to depart. As expected, the guards from the ship were able to repel the goblins, but not without taking severe losses. It seems his boat is overflowing with creatures. The Baron's gaze catches your own as his flagship departs the harbor. You can sense his wordless chagrin at your unwillingness to assist him. Gain Betrayer. If you already have it, each hero gains 1 ability rank increase of their choice. If you have Trustworthy, lose it. Then continue reading. So we don't have Betrayer, but we have Trustworthy, and we're going to lose it, and we don't get the fun stuff. So as you can see here, we had Trustworthy, and Trustworthy is now gone. Although you fight valiantly, you quickly tire as the seemingly never-ending waves of organized goblin tribes decimate the city. A group of townsfolk whom you have been fighting alongside encourages you to leave, but it is clear they plan on staying, a risk that may lead to their death while defending it. Each hero may continue to fight to allow the remaining townsfolk to board the ship. Those who do will roll a hex die and suffer the resulting number of energy drain. Consider this damage a single target attack. This die may hexplode. Each hero who continues to fight may use a single mastery or racial ability if it heals or prevents damage. So let's do that first, and then it says each hero who remains to fight gains a vital gear upgrade of their choice. Regardless if you do or do not, continue to help. We are going to help them. We're committed. So we'll roll the hex die and see what we're dealing with. Okay, we're going to roll this hex die and see what we're dealing with. We rolled a 2, so it would be 2 energy damage. That would be the same if we use Reflected Assault, so we're just going to take the 2 energy damage going down to 10. Then it says, each hero who remains to fight gains a vital gear upgrade of their choice. These are our vitals. That vital gear upgrade is going to be health, taking us from 9 to 10. Let's get a little bit stronger and buff around this game, so we'll go up to 10 max health. Regardless if you do or do not continue to help, continue reading. You board one of the remaining boats alongside a final group of evacuees and push away from the pier. The city grows small in the distance as you make your way east towards the refuge of the Shrine of Seasons. With the knights fighting behind you, you can finally rest. The trip to the shrine takes 3 days. In that time, the grateful townsfolk promise they will sing your praises and tell stories about how you rescued the majority of the city's free folk from the goblin horde. Some of them even share a few of their limited possessions with you. Each hero loses food equal to 3 times their food rating. If you do not have the food to lose, suffer no ill effect. Additionally, each hero may choose to gain either 1 potion or 1 mystic tonic. We have plenty of food, so we're losing 6 food. Yikes. 3 times 2. So we're going from 10 to 4. Oh boy. 10 to 4 food. Yikes. And we also can get a potion or a mystic tonic. We're going to gain another potion, so we're going to have 3 potions now. Gain Hearts and Minds. If you already have it, each hero also gains 1 gear upgrade of their choice. But we're going to do Hearts and Minds and gain Momentary Exile. So as you can see, we gained hearts and minds and momentary exile. At dusk on the third day, you finally reach the base of the mountain and follow the line of refugees towards the shrine at the summit to find a small measure of safety. Begin the chapter with 32 plus 2 cards per hero in the timer deck, plus the already 2 that we have, which means it's a total of 4 that we're adding for a total of 36 in our timer deck. Place the group miniature on the Shrine of Seasons. You may not spend the gold there until after you read the next passage. From the base of the mountain, you can barely make out the silhouette of the Shrine of Seasons, nestled in a rocky outcropping far above you. The path toward the shrine is narrow, clearly not meant to bear the burden of such an exodus of people. Still, the shrine is the closest haven to Dragonsport. With only one limited stony path, it is also the safest to defend. As there is also safety in numbers, you make your way towards the shrine alongside a line of fellow refugees. At long last, a narrow path up the mountain widens as it reaches the shrine. The iron gates marking the entrance has been propped open invitingly. Monks and apostles of all races are triaging the evacuees, taking the more severely wounded people into the main hall, which has been repurposed as an infirmary. Stone-walled buildings make up the entirety of the property, and most of the citizens have claimed small patches of land outside, huddling among small fires for warmth. Just before you are ready to settle down for a much-needed rest, a young monk approaches and asks that you follow him. He claims that one of the priests has asked for your assistance. You follow the man into a building that seems to be separated for much of the activity on the premises. A wizened yet authoritative troll priest greets you and introduces himself as Corinthus, one of the shrine's elders. He plainly states that your assistance is required to help the shrine and the remaining people of Dragonport. Corinthus explains that as the goblin attack on the city occurred swiftly and without warning, proper notice has not yet been delivered to the surrounding cities. All the personnel within the shrine have been focused on aiding the seemingly unending line of refugees. Someone needs to inform the elves of Fane Hill of what has happened to Dragonsport. Although the city lies several days to the south, their ruling Council of the Wind must know the details of the goblin invasion so that further aggression can be thwarted. The elder points out that not only are you the most capable persons here, but that since you were in the city when the attack occurred, you have detailed knowledge of how the goblins are operating. Considering the state of most of the people outside, you cannot deny the troll's assistance for the situation, or assessment. You accept, knowing full well that the nightmare of what is to come will haunt your sleep this night. The priest and a handful of the acolytes meet you at the gates the next morning. Although the shrine cannot tend to your wounds due to the sheer number of people requiring greater assistance, there's a small hamlet to the southeast where you may be able to rest and resupply. Corinthus also points out that there is a mountainous ruin to the southeast with smoke seen rising from it in just the past few days. He is unsure as to the significance of this new activity, as he believed the old castle to be abandoned, but it may hold some connection to the goblin presence in the area. One of the younger priests whispers something into the elder's ear, and the troll nods approvingly. He says that some of the refugees refused to climb the mountain's narrow path and instead sought solace in a nearby abandoned tower. The monks do not know the status of the building, as they have no reason to travel there, but they would appreciate it if on your way out you could convince anyone resting there to make their way to the safety of the shrine. With no more information to provide, Corinthus and his acolytes wish you speed and safety. Place the stronghold token and the quest tokens on the location shown below. The monks are busy handling refugees from Dragonsport. Heroes may not access locked abilities in the shrine until you have either Windtalkers, Arcana Obscura, or Self-Sufficient. We don't have any of those at all. The shrine can only sell potions but offers services normally. If you have Tiama's Cane, which we do, and haven't had it blessed in this shrine, which we haven't, see Tiama's NPC entry on 446. After the chapter setup is complete, set forth on your adventure to warn the elves of Fanehill. For side questing for this Tiama's Cane section of things, it says side quest. If you have a closer look and either savior or deeds not named, you may interact with Lorelei Laswell in the Shrine of Seasons in chapters 2 or 3. We have savior, but we do not have a closer look, so we can't interact with her right now. So let's go down the line and see what we have. If you're in the Shrine of Seasons and have a closer look, we don't have a closer look. If you have Savior and speak with Lorelei about her potion smithing talent, which we haven't done yet because we don't have a closer look to speak with her. If you have Savior and the Acolyte's Staff, read that one. I believe we just have Tiama's Cane. And if you have Savior, you hear Lorelei is on the hunt for something else that's going on. So we can't interact yet because we're missing a closer look, which we need to take into consideration before we deal with the rest. The other thing I need to do before I forget is when we gave the ring back, we actually lost the +1 that we have here. So this would go back down from 4 to 3, which would change this back down to 1. So now all stats are as they should be. Everything is set up as it should, and we are good to go. We have our deck set out of our 36 cards for our day that is here, which is fantastic, all shuffled, ready to go. So it's 32 plus 2 per player, plus the 2 that we earned from the restore at the beginning of the story. And this is our restore deck that's here on its side. We've now built out our circumstance decks for what could happen while we're playing, as well as our monster decks, which will remain hidden as we need them. Finally, we clear the rest of the board to get ourselves ready for our playthrough. Here we are, located at the Shrine of Seasons. The new board has opened up. We've got 3 quest locations that we can deal with. We've got a goblin lair that is located here. I know you saw my hand here and then it vanished and then it came back, but I had to make sure. So this is a goblin lair that we have. So the cave token represents a growing force of goblin outriders and is referred to as the goblin lair in this chapter. So we will place the goblin lair token over on this location, and outrider tokens will spawn from here as the chapter progresses. This location over here with the quest token that you can see is a major city. This is Fane Hill, the City of Silver. And this other city that you see over here is Restwind Dale. We also have a boss activity that's happening up here. This is the South Crown Cave. We have a location here called Westacre. There is a quest token that is set here and a quest token set there, as I've already stated before. So we are ready for the beginning of our venture, which is going to be fantastic. So this is going to be the intro to the beginning of the adventure that we're going to take on for Chapter 2. We just wanted to prep ourselves, fix a little bit of issues that we had going on. Make sure, remember, we have our camping gear that heals us for 1 energy and 1 health every single day that we rest. When the day ends, as a new day begins, we have that. We've updated what we need to for any of the mistakes that we made, and we're ready to party as we build this out. So thanks everybody for joining. I know this is a shorter one, but I wanted to set up the beauty of the story before we dive into this wonderful Chapter 2 adventure and fix any of the issues that we had. Until then, I love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do.